Peace, everybody. Whatever time of the day it is when you get this video. Pardon my appearance. I know I need to get my hair rebraided and my skin is looking buck wild. I'm out here looking like Mr. Glass out this mug. But anyway, the point of this video today is to tell a little story because of what today is. Today is the anniversary of the death of J Dilla. I try not to make it too long, but I just want to get out a story. And I'm playing this beat in the background for a specific reason because I remember years ago, me and DJ Man Plus went to New York and he brought me the Fat Beats for the first time. So, we going up there. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm going to get. But I decide, I think I had bought the Freshest Kids DVD. I'm not sure, and that was because of that was because of DJ Wildchild who put me up on that DVD. I was like, yo, I have to own this. At any rate, the point is, we get there, we shop and we look and we seeing this at the third. I'm enjoying the vibe. It's like, yo, I never been to Fat Beats before. This is dope. We look up in the top right corner and it's like, oh snap, yo, JD got a new instrumental album out. So Man Plus being Man Plus, because he's a DJ, he bought 2 copies. I didn't reach for one. He's like, yo, you not gonna buy it? I was like, no, because what's gonna happen is this. I'm gonna buy this album. I'm gonna play it to death. And then every beat I make after that is gonna sound like whatever was on this album, because that's how great of an influence J Dilla was to me. And I used to hear, and I still do hear people, yo, man, do your own thing, don't be the next. Listen, there was a point in time where I idolized that man. And shamelessly, it would be like, when I heard some of his production, when I actually caught wind of who he was, I was like, yo, this guy is amazing. He's about to play again. I got to put on repeat because this is my favorite beat off this project. At any rate, when I finally caught wind of who JD was and I got into Slum Village and all that, I was like, yo, I was actually already on a path of like what I was going to do creatively. Of course, I was influenced by other people like RZA and Pete Rock and DJ Premier and Dr. Dre. But when I caught hold of J Dilla, it was like, yo, that's my new master right now, and I wasn't ashamed about it. It was like, this guy is dope. I want to make music the way he makes it. And surely enough, if people know, J Dilla has multiple styles. And every time he switched up, I switched up because I was following the lead of my master. He was my sensei. So to bring to the point of this video, I idolized him so much that unfavorably, through the news of my brother Talib, Leave the Rap Nerd, you know what I'm saying, my man Hank McCoy, he called me and he was the first one to break the news to me. He was like, yo, and all he did was, when I picked up the phone and he said, yo, he's gone. I was like, what? He was like, yo, Dilla's dead. And at that moment, I felt like, yo, I felt lost. Because I'm like, okay, who am I going to follow? What path am I going to go? And it took me some years to really like, yo, and it took some hard talking to from my cousin. He was like, listen, he's dead. You got to move on and make your own path. And I believe I've begun to do that. I still do little things that he would do. Like I would throw a hi-hat off, here and there, or I would throw a snare off here and there, or I would try to emulate drum breaks like a real drummer would. And that's a lot of him. I would also real latent bass lines and stuff like that. I try to do less and less of that more. But my point is, like, he was such a great influence to me that I really felt a loss. And And interestingly enough, he died, people know the history, he died 3 days after his birthday, which was actually 3 days after the release of Donuts. And I didn't even understand Donuts at first. I'm like, yo, I really was like, yo, what is this? And surely enough, like I always idolized Dilla before, once I began to understand what Donuts was, I began to make music like that. And I was actually two great things that JD had taught me, especially with that Donuts album. I used to avoid making beats with vocal samples in the background. I'm like, are they talking over or they singing over or whatever? It's in the way of the music. Donuts taught me, like, yo, not only it's cool to sample it with all the voices, you take the lyrics of the singing and you make it say what you want it to say. The second thing that Donuts told me, because my two favorite beats are Time, and the second point of what I'm saying is Bye. I already knew it was the Isley Brothers, but I had never heard a Time signature manipulated like that. He took pretty much like a 3/4, like a waltz time signature and made it 4/4. And I was like, hold up. And then to find out this man was making all this on his deathbed. We're talking about literally deathly sick, losing weight, losing energy, and still had the mental wherewithal to do something that was far beyond what so many people were doing. Yo, I'm eternally grateful for the life and legacy of J Dilla. I'm not one of these Johnny come latelys, oh, Dilla changed my life. No, man, listen. I am a forever student of that man. He taught me a lot, and I am eternally grateful for that. Shout out to Miss Maureen Yancey. Shout out to his brother Illa J. And I want to say one additional thing about that. All the critics talking about how Illa J is piggybacking off the legacy of his brother. First and foremost, if anybody is supposed to be carrying the legacy, it's your family. In my personal opinion, Illa J is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be carrying on that legacy. Understand it kind of gets in the way of what he's trying to do and the musician that he's trying to become on his own. I still feel as the kind of person that I am, he has that responsibility to carry on his older brother's legacy. I think that's dope what he's doing, and I love it, man. And listen, he's gone, but he's always going to be a part of my life, my musical life. Even if I move on and do things that aren't indicative of the quote-unquote J Dilla sound, I'm always going to add little things that remind me of the great teacher I had, man. And I know I'm pretty much in almost, I don't know how many minutes and talked everybody's ear off, but if you made it through all this, thank you for listening. I just wanted to express myself. Yo, this is the Black Man. I am out. Beats have to be made. You already know. Peace.